So how do I differ from Barack Obama and Mitt Romney? I am the only candidate that does not want to bomb Iran. Yeah. We bomb Iran, and we're going to find ourselves in a 2-year bombing maintenance program of Iran. We're going to find ourselves with another 100 million enemies to this country that, but for our military interventions, we would not have. The biggest demonstration in the world in support of the United States after 9/11 was in Iran, and we're going to bomb the citizens of Iran? Our beef is with Ahmadinejad, not with the citizens of Iran. Let's not bomb Iran. I am the only candidate that would get out of Afghanistan tomorrow and bring the troops home. The root of all evil. Politicians that want to get elected and then re-elected, and in the name of getting elected and re-elected, beating their chests, saving us from all of the ills of the world, saving us from the terrorist threat at a cost of hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians in these countries where we militarily intervene, at a cost of our men and service women coming back in body bags, at a cost of our men and service women coming back with their limbs blown off. Let's stop. We have hundreds of millions of enemies to this country that, but for our military interventions, I suggest, would not exist. I am the only candidate that believes that marriage equality is a constitutionally guaranteed right on par with civil rights of the 60s. I am the only candidate that wants to end the drug wars now. Legalize marijuana now. Control it, regulate it, tax it. We are at a tipping point on this issue. Colorado is going to vote to legalize marijuana this fall. It's on the ballot. Regulate marijuana like alcohol. I think it's going to be the first of 50 state dominoes that are going to fall, and here's how that's going to work. In Raleigh-Durham on a weekend, everybody gets on an airplane to go to Denver to chill out. You know what? It's going to be that phenomenon all across the country, and all the states are going to get in line with rational drug policy. How would it have worked if I would have been president after 9/11? I would have never signed the Patriot Act. I'm the only candidate that supports repealing the Patriot Act now. I am the only candidate that would not have signed the National Defense Authorization Act, allowing you and I to be arrested and detained as U.S. citizens without being charged. I am the only candidate that wants to balance the federal budget now. If we don't balance the federal budget now, we are going to find ourselves in a monetary collapse. And what is a monetary collapse? A monetary collapse is when the dollars that we have in our pocket don't buy a thing because of the accompanying inflation that's going to go along with borrowing and printing money to the tune of 43 cents out of every dollar that we spend. We have to do this, and we have to do this now. It has to be mutual sacrifice on the part of all of us, or we're all going down together, all of us. And that means addressing entitlements. That means looking at Medicare, reducing significantly the cost, 43% reductions in Medicaid, Medicare, military spending. Social Security is absolutely savable. I don't want anybody here to leave thinking that Social Security can't be saved and that it's an easy fix relative to Medicaid and Medicare. But here we have the two parties arguing over who's going to spend more money on Medicare, when the fact is we have to significantly reduce the cost of these entitlements. And if we don't do it, the alternative is no Medicare, is no health care for those over 65, is no health care for those truly in need, Medicaid. I'm the only candidate that would abolish the Federal Reserve if Congress passed that legislation. Treasury prints money. The Federal Reserve gives that money to the banks at 0% interest. The banks don't give it to you and I. They buy up treasuries in a closed loop and make money with no risk whatsoever, and that money is money that we're paying for. It's an inside game, all right? And it devalues the U.S. dollar significantly. Talking about Mitt Romney and Barack Obama for 1 second. Barack Obama, I have to tell you, music. I mean, he plays his violin, and the words that come out of the violin are magnificent. They really are. There's just nothing I can disagree with what he has to say. It's just the reality doesn't match up in any way with the words. He said some very favorable things, I thought, when it came to war, the endless wars, that we were not going to find ourselves in continual war. I thought he said some very favorable things when it came to gay rights, marriage equality. I thought he said some really favorable things when it came to the war on drugs. And you know what he said when it came to the war on drugs? He said, I am not going to raid medical marijuana facilities in states where legislatures or citizens have voted to implement these programs, and here we have ongoing raids in California and Colorado. The words don't match the rhetoric. And then Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, really personable guy, okay? Really personable guy. But Mitt Romney says it's a no-brainer to build a fence across the border. You're listening to somebody with not one molecule of brain based on that statement. Mitt Romney says that we need to balance the federal budget, but that we need to increase spending for the military, and we need to hold Medicare intact. It doesn't add up. We all finished the second grade, and the mathematics that went along with the second grade, it doesn't add up. We're on a 40 university and campus tour. I'm doing 20, Judge Jim Gray is doing 20. Why are we out talking to college students? Why are we out talking to young people? Because you all are getting screwed. I'm going to retire, I'm going to have health care, but you have to work and you will never retire, and you're not going to have health care because there is no paying this off, none whatsoever. And then President Obama's health care plan. Let's see, that's a plan that's dependent on healthy people having to pay for insurance to pay for those that aren't so healthy. That's a burden that falls on young people who are healthy. You're graduating from college with a home mortgage without a home. Why is college tuition so high? The root of college tuition being so high are guaranteed student loans that make colleges and universities immune from lowering their prices, that if so many students couldn't automatically get into school because of guaranteed student loans, they would actually have pricing that would be lower, and colleges and universities would be more affordable. And then the worst. And then the worst of all, you know, you all are the ones that are going overseas. You all are the ones that are putting your lives on the line. You're the ones that are dying for all of this. Or you're coming back hurt, and hurt in ways that we're going to all have to care for you for the rest of our lives, and we have that obligation, and we need to meet that obligation. I want you to know that I'm standing here before you today believing that I can win the presidency of the United States. I wouldn't be here if that weren't the case. Let me pose to you this question, all right? I'm at 5% of the national vote right now. For every 100 times that you hear the name Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, are you hearing my name 5 times? For every 3,000 times that you hear Mitt Romney's name mentioned or Barack Obama's name mentioned, are you hearing my name 1 time? Maybe, maybe. The point is, there is real possibility here. There is. And if there's anything we've learned over the last year, it's about a 17-day cycle. 6 Republicans at the top of the heap for 17 days each before the whack-a-mole process took effect. So one of the big concerns I have in this election is peaking too early. This just needs to happen. The wave just needs to come rolling in the middle of October. And believe me, I've been treading water. I know how to surf. I'll catch the wave. I'll get in and make this happen. So have you heard the notion of wasting your vote? Let's see, wasting your vote. That would be voting for somebody that you don't believe in, right? And let me ask you a question and then follow that up with a request. The question is, what happens if all of you waste your vote and vote for me as President of the United States? Well, I'm the next President of the United States, by God. All of you are activists. I appreciate that. I recognize the fact that you've taken your time to be here is the reason why other students, other people look to you for what's happening. And I appreciate that. I can't thank you enough. I also recognize here that I am a spokesperson for a movement that is going to continue and is going to continue to grow. I also recognize that if given the opportunity, many of you, if not all of you, would take up the same opportunity that I've been given. I don't want to squander this opportunity. It's a message that has to be heard. It's a message that resonates. All of us understand the difficulties that we face. We understand that we're going to all have to mutually sacrifice if we're going to have a country going forward. But it seems as though the national debate doesn't have anything to do with that. It has everything to do with believing that the impossible is going to happen. Santa Claus is going to come this Christmas, and by extension, the Easter Bunny is going to come with his eggs, and the Tooth Fairy still exists. It doesn't. We have problems, but we can address them. We can make a difference. We can make this country what it is always meant to be, and that's liberty and freedom, allowing ourselves to live the lives that we want to live in an environment that we've all fought for, that we've all sacrificed for, that this is what this country really is about. Thank you very, very much. Live free. Live free. Thank you. Thank you.